old rose in the garden that you would love to propagate? And why propagate? Rose propagation is an art, and so a science, that is a basic principles and guidelines must be taken into consideration. Failure to follow these principles and guidelines will affect your success in all your roses propagation. Hi everyone, my name is Marcelina at cashewgreens.com. Once again, welcome back to my gardening channel. On today's video, I'm going to teach you how to easily propagate roses from cuttings and what tools and materials to use, the procedures and guidelines to follow, and the kind of hormones to use that will speed up rooting, and the kind of propagators to apply that will increase your success in all your roses propagation. But before we continue this video, don't forget to subscribe below and click the bell so you can get notified on my next informative video. Okay guys, I'm back. Thank you for joining me here at the table. Now before you head to the garden and do the rose cuttings, make sure that all the tools and materials are already prepared. As you can see here on the table, I gather all the supplies that I need on today's activity. I have the pruner, the alcohol, hydrogen peroxide, shot glass, pitcher with 1 quart of water, and Clonix gel. So this will be the hormone that we are using today, and I will explain that to you why using Clonix gel in this video later on this video. Now, most of the people, they use only plain water to put their cuttings, but I would highly recommend you guys to add hydrogen peroxide in the water and put your cuttings. And in the reason for that, as I mentioned in my previous video, that hydrogen peroxide helps eliminate fungus. So you only need 1 quart of water in the pitcher and add 1 ounce of peroxide. So 1 ounce is 30 ml. So you add this in the water. So let's go ahead and add this in the water. Now that you have already the peroxide here, so you bring this pitcher with you in the garden and put your cuttings right away. So let's go ahead and get started. Join me to the garden. Okay guys, thank you for joining me here in the garden. So this is the rose that we are going to propagate today. Now before on this procedure, before you start cutting branches, the first thing you need to do is to assess the plant. Assess the plant and look for any sign of pest, stress, and also sign of diseases. And in the reason for that, you don't want to propagate a branch that comes from the plant that it is diseased. Now this plant is healthy, and there are 3 parts of the stems that you can propagate. You can propagate the soft cuttings, the semi-hardwood cuttings, and then the hardwood cuttings. But I would highly recommend you guys to propagate the semi-hardwood cuttings because they are more high success in rooting the roses. Some people use the softwood because it roots faster, but the problem of the softwood cutting in roses, it is so delicate, and you have to monitor how much water it's in the rose cuttings, and also it is too wimpy, and because they are soft. So I would highly recommend the semi-hardwood cuttings. And you can also propagate the hardwood, but it takes a while. It takes 2 years to grow the hardwood cuttings. So again, in my experience of propagating roses, I would recommend to propagate the semi-hardwood. So let's go ahead to cut this. Now before you cut the rose, make sure you disinfect your pruner. You don't want to use a pruner that it has, it's been used many times, and make sure that your pruner is sterile. So you spray with alcohol. Now then you cut the branches. When you cut the branch, you cut the branches that it is in 45 angle. So I cut here 45 degrees angle. And make sure that your pruner is sharp. Now once I cut this branch, you put right away in the pitcher that it is that has a solution with hydrogen peroxide. So I put it in there. Put right away. Don't take your cuttings without the water. The reason for that, because once it is removed from the mother plant, this cutting doesn't, there is a sudden loss of water. So you want that water, maintain that water. So you put right away. Now, you have to take care between the cuttings and also the mother plant. You cut the branch of the mother plant, so this plant is prone to infection from the wound that you cut. So what you do is spray alcohol, or you can seal it with some rose cutting product that it sealed the wound. So you need to seal this wound or spray with alcohol because you don't want infection in here. And by spraying the alcohol, it takes care of this fungus that will attack in this plant after it is wounded. So let's go ahead and go back to the table, and we will prepare this. We will root these cuttings. I'll be back. When you take cuttings from a rose plant, make sure you take the cuttings from a branch that has flower in it. You don't want to cut the branches that have no flower, because this will result in propagating a male plant. So you have to cut them when there is a flower, and then the flower is already almost done blooming. So again, you cut the branch that has a flower attached to it. Now, there are different, some people, the way how they prepare, how you prepare your cuttings. Some people, this is a form of art, and some people, they use the pound this branch, and some of them they scrape, and some of them they just add slit in both sides. And preferable to do the cuttings is 4 to 5 inches long. Some people use 9 inch longer, and I would highly recommend to cut your cuttings 4 to 5 inches long, because the shorter the branch, the fastest for the hormones to send that energy. And so as you can see here, I put I scrape both sides. So I scrape both sides, and then I use 2 methods: scraping in both sides and cut a slit on this stem. So you can use either way. It is your preferable, but I recommend that you use both ways and cut a slit on this stem. And then make sure when you scrape below the bud. Keep in mind, don't injure the bud. You want that closer to the bud, because that is the area where the energy, where the stimulation occurs. So again, 4 to 5 inches long, and then scrape both sides, cut a slit in the middle. Now, what type of hormones? I'm going to explain it to you why using Clonix, and stay with me for a while, because I'm going to explain it to you why using Clonix. Now, I have been using Clonix gel of all my propagation, because I have more success using Clonix. There are different forms of rooting. There is a powder form, and also there is a liquid form, which is the dip in grow, and the Clonix gel. So both of them work, but I highly recommend you guys to use the rooting gel, and I will explain it to you why using Clonix gel. Clonix gel has been the highest performance water-based rooting gel used in plant propagation, with billions of clones successfully rooted. Clonix formulation has been fine-tuned for rapid root development. The Clonix gel will remain in contact around the stem and seal the cut tissue, and then supplying hormones needed to promote the root cell development. Now, that's why I am using this Clonix gel, because there is a massive rooting. So you need the fast rooting that you can take from your cuttings. So I highly recommend Clonix gel, and I put high links below, and then you can just click that link. And also one of the active ingredients of Clonix gel is the butyric acid. That is the acid that is responsible in promoting root. So it's 3% butyric acid found in the Clonix gel. And because of the high performance of this product, majority or most of the serious growers, and also those plant nurseries, depending upon it. So they're depending on using this Clonix gel because of the highest performance. So if you are serious on propagating plants, so I highly recommend using Clonix gel. So let's prepare this. So when you prepare this Clonix, you use 1 drop. If you're propagating a lot, I propagate a lot of plants, so I use a lot of Clonix gel. You just need few drops in here because I'm just only using 1 plant. Now when you use this one, you cannot put this back to the bottle because you don't want to contaminate the entire bottle. So you use only what is in here in the bottle. Now there's another thing that I would explain it to you, that when you propagate plant, make sure you propagate in the same plant that you propagated. Don't mix any plant because one plant might be contaminated and then you don't want to contaminate the whole entire production. So again, in this procedure, I will really want you guys to make sure that your procedure doing this, it is because I want you guys to be successful in all your propagation. Just keep in mind, not all 100% you can root your cuttings. But at least if you can get 90% that you can root, that is good enough. For me, it is good when I root the plants 90%. Now, so you use this gel in here. Now you dip the gel in this. You dip the cuttings in the gel. You make sure that you coated the wand, the scrape, coated it around it, and then I put it in here. I set that for a few seconds. Now, what kind of media are you using? So I mentioned the medias that when I have my video on germination, and there are 2 products that I would highly recommend, and I use that in my garden. And if you want to use that this media, so that would be a great media to use. So I use the GP. Again, GP, plug, and Root Riot. Those are the products that I would highly recommend you guys to use when you do either if you are germinating seeds or propagating plants. There is 2 forms, sizes of the GP plug. This is 7-inch. Use the 7-inch when you do the propagation and not the smaller one, because the smaller is designed on germinating seeds, and this is designed for growing tomato, and also designed this is also designed for propagating. So again, Root Riot and GP plug. So you squeeze the water of this GP plug, you soak this one 60 minutes, and also soak in a warm water. That is recommended by the product. So you squeeze, not squeeze all the way, all the water, because you want that remaining water for the seedlings. So now you have the squeezed water in a pencil. You use the pencil or any tools you need to create a hole in this GP. So you create a hole all the way down. Now when you insert the cuttings, you put the cuttings all the way down, and the reason for that, because it creates security. You want to secure this stem from falling down. If you put only halfway, then it would tumble down, or it would remove from this GP plug. So again, you put this in the GP just like that. So all the way down, you want that secured. Now it's already down, but put it in here all the way, and then just make sure to down. And the reason I use the GP, because it's easy. It's a very convenient type of media. So use this media when you do all your propagation. Now when you have this, you have to label this, and I want to show you the first cuttings that I propagated 2 days ago. So you have to label the name of the plant that you propagated, and also the date of the plant. And then the reason for that, because you want to monitor the branches are the successful, if you're successful rooting them. And also you have to monitor how long the cuttings show the root. So that's the reason you have to put the date on it, and then also the label. So let's go put this in our propagator. Now there is the most exciting propagator that I would love to show you guys, and I'm so excited that I have it built, and I'm going to show you with the type of propagator. So let's go ahead, let's go to the propagator area. Okay guys, this is my propagator. So I use the rain tower. So this is the propagator that I propagate most of my plants, and then I will explain that to you why using the rain tower. The rain tower has a automatic water supply, and also it is good air circulation here. And when I put it in here, so the water is constantly feeding with my rose cutting, so there is no dryness. So you need that cuttings from for watering that cutting, so I don't have to water anything. And here in this area I also had a good filtration of the sun, because there is trees. So at this time the sun comes, I have the sun, and then after that, later on, late this afternoon, the trees would filter the sunlight. So it is perfect. This area is perfect for my roses. So if you have to propagate your cuttings, so make sure that you have a you have best propagator to propagate them. So one of the propagator that I use is the rain tower, and on my next video I'm going to share with you the different types of propagator that you can successfully propagate your roses. And thank you for watching this video, and I hope this video will help you when you do your propagation, especially for the roses. Especially those roses are very adorable plants, and I love roses, so I share my passion to you guys on how to grow roses. And this is my way of propagating plants. So share with your friends, and hope don't forget to subscribe to my video, and thank you so much. Bye bye.